we gave the opportunity for them to travel. So I've been to like San Diego 5 times, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Florida, Hawaii, Kona, Maui. Been to China 3 times, Taipei 3 times, Australia, New Zealand, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, France, Italy, Serbia, Mexico, Cuba.
Good afternoon, ballers and ballettes. Welcome back to Been a Minute, Season 2. I'm Coach Anand here, and I'm with my co-host, Coach Ollie.
Hey.
We got producer P in the building also.
What up?
And we're very excited to be here, and we have a very exciting guest today. This man is a legend, and producer P is going to explain the rest from here.
Hey, guys. This gentleman of ours, this guest of ours, I am honored to have him on our show. When I moved to BC on 2 separate occasions, he gave me both the opportunity to coach at Kitsilano. This gentleman was born in Vancouver. He was a standout athlete at Untitled Secondary School. Started his post-secondary at Langara and VCC before finishing off at UBC. He taught and coached at Kitsilano Secondary for the better part of 28 amazing years, retired a few short years ago back in 2018. He's been to numerous provincial championships, 19 berths to be exact, 16 city championships, 1 Western Canada championships, 6 summer games, 4 senior men's championships in baseball, and I'm sure I'm missing a whole bunch more, and we'll get into that with him and talk about his accomplishments and his accolades. I am pleased to bring to the show, to introduce to the show, I should say, Coach Randy Coutts. Coach, you there?
Yeah, I am here. Thank you, Paul. Glad to be here.
Thanks, Coach, for taking the time to, meet with us and, allowing us to hear about your journey. And, I know a bit about your journey, but, our segment here, our show is called Been a Minute. It's our audience is, grassroots players and their parents. And, so having kids hear about you and where you started and how you became a coach and that sort of thing. For me, I'm going to just sit back and enjoy. I'll let the show host take it away. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. And we look forward to hearing more of your story. The topic, before we go on, actually, of today's episode is the General of Kits, the legend of Coach Randy Coutts. So with no further ado, Coach Ollie, take it away.
Hey, Coach Coutts, how are you?
Good, I'm doing very well, Ollie.
Nice to hear that. So I've got a couple of rapid fire questions for you, and we're just gonna get to know you.
Sounds good.
Where are you from, and where did you grow up?
I'm from Vancouver, born and raised in the east side of Vancouver. Basically spent my youth there, going to Templeton Secondary School. Great school in its time that I was there. There was about 1,500 students that went to that school, and we were blessed to have a very good athletic department. We had some really good people in there. Most of them were all teachers, and they were all coaches. So the culture and the vibe at Templeton Secondary School growing up there was tremendous, and it had a great impact on my life. And as you've seen, through so many other coaches in the Vancouver system that have come through in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and the 2000s, there's been a lot of coaches that have gone through those programs and have given back to those programs. So that's a kind of brief history of my where I'm from. And then I basically went on after that to play at VCC and UBC, and then went on to teach and coach at Kitsilano Secondary School.
Okay. So Templeton and UBC. What did you take at UBC then?
I took okay, first of all, I went to VCC Langara, so I went into the 2-year phys ed recreation program. And so I got those credits under my belt and then transferred over to UBC for 3 years and finished off my degree with a Bachelor of Physical Education and Recreation. Basically that gave me a diploma. And then after that, I also got my 5th year education, which was a 1-year certification program through the UBC Department of Education. So I was qualified to teach high school in the province of BC.
Right. Okay. So having a long history of coaching basketball, did you ever play basketball? And if so, where and for how long?
Yeah. So my basketball, I mean, it started in elementary school. We kind of did everything. Again, we were blessed having some really good teachers there, Mr. Murray and Mr. Nielsen. We played everything there. It was amazing. We played. They had 5 different seasons there, so we played soccer, basketball, volleyball, floor hockey, and softball, and they all had different seasons. And then I went to Templeton Secondary School, and that's where I really got immersed into it. The school at that time had some outstanding athletes. I started in grade 8. We had a really great program going on with some really good basketball players coming through at that time. And I played basically grade 8 through 12, and made the BC provincial tournament, which was held at during my time was held at the Pacific Coliseum. Yeah, I got an opportunity to go there 3 years, so I was very fortunate.
3 years. That's really impressive. I've only been there once, and I'm just like, it's just like the feeling is just amazing when you get there.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, that was one of the biggest pushes in my life, was being immersed in the provincial tournament. Now, your tournament is now at the Langley Event Center. I don't want to take anything away from the Langley Event Center. It's a great facility. It's a great tournament. There's no doubt about that. And the feeling of making that tournament is best to none. And I'm sure you know, with Jonathan Kinman, your coach there, I'm pretty good friends with John.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to get to the provincial championships. There's no doubt about that. But back in the day, back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, it was basically held at, there was 3 facilities that was held at. It was held at the Pacific Coliseum when it was built back in 1969. And then I moved over to the Agrodome. And then I actually went to GM Place for 2 years. And then our team was fortunate enough to play there. And then I went back to the Agrodome. And then they went to the 4 tiers, and I went out to the LEC for the last, I guess, it's going on 10, almost 8, I think 9 or 10 years now at the LEC.
Yeah. It's been moving around quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So how long have you done coaching for basketball?
You know what? Basically, I started when I was in high school. I've been around for close to 35, I guess about 37 years coaching altogether. But it all started in grade 12, and I coached the grade 8 boys basketball team while I was on a senior team.
Yeah.
So I helped an outside coach that was there. And then I moved after that. I was also coaching while going to Vancouver Community College and playing. I also helped out the senior boys basketball team of Templeton under the well-known name of Daz Wilson. Very good guy, and he passed a few years back, but excellent coach, excellent teacher. Had an opportunity to coach with them, and then in my 3rd year at VCC, which is Vancouver Community College, I again was playing at the same time, and the coach fell ill, and I was coaching the women's team, so I would coach the women's team before I played, and then I ended up playing right after him. So it was kind of a good situation. And then I moved over to UBC, and then coached the UBC JV team, which played in what was called the Lower Mainland Keg League. And we played against basically all players that have graduated from high school, and some universities and colleges that got teams together, and we were immersed in that league, really strong league. And I did that for 2 years.
You coached it?
And then, coached at UBC. The JV team, not the varsity team, the JV team.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter Mullins was coaching the varsity team at that time. Legendary coach in his own. Took a good coaching class from him, and then I went on and coached 2 years at St. George's High School, and then after that, coached 2 years with my wife at BCAT. They were looking for a coach, and I coached 2 years there of the women's program, and that was a great experience. And then when I finished my schooling, I then went on to Quallen College. Was at that time trying to get into that was called the Totem Conference League. Back then, it was a junior college league, which St. George's, Douglas College, Cap College, all that kind of stuff. So I coached there for 3 years, and they were immersed in. They were playing exhibition games against all the colleges, and then playing in the Richmond League. So I coached there for 3 years, and then after that, I got a job at Kitsilano Secondary School and coached there for going on 28 years, and did numerous teams all the way through there. Coached basically the varsity boys basketball team, the senior boys, and a whole bunch of other teams that I coached in the spring and summer. So yeah, I've been pretty well immersed in it for going on, like I say, 30, 36, 37 years.
It's quite a history. You dabbled in a little bit of everything, like from the university teams to college teams to high school teams. It's crazy.
Yeah. So a lot of time. Really enjoyed it though. Never really enjoyed it. I play a lot, and I really enjoyed coaching. So that's why it was one of the main reasons I went to Kitsilano was I wanted to start a program and a culture, and built a very, very successful athletic program at Kitsilano Secondary School.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of Kitsilano, got some connections in the area with Jonathan Kinman and Don Stoller. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey with them and like your fishing excursions with them?
Oh yeah. I mean, Jonathan. Well, they call him Coach, right? I mean, you call him Coach too, right? So, but a really good friend of mine. We created a very good relationship over the last. It's got to be close to 20 years, and him being down the way there at St. John's, where you went to school, Ollie.
Mm-hmm.
Very good school, very good program. You won't meet a more committed individual than your coach, John Kinman. We've had I've been going up to John's fishing lodge over in Banfield. I don't know if you ever had a chance to go up there and fish with them.
I went in grade 10.
Awesome. Yeah. So I mean, you know what the experience is. So
it was amazing.
He puts on a first class experience. He's a selfless, gracious, committed. He's a down to earth guy. And and we're still Don Stoller and I are still. We didn't get to go last year, but I'm hoping to go this year due to COVID and all that kind of stuff. That the dates didn't work out, but we get up there probably the first 3 or 4 days in the first days of August, and we do our fishing excursion. Have a great time with John, just reminiscing and just being the boys out the boat. And related to Don Stoller, Don and I worked together for almost 28 years. Don was he grew up in Kitsilano. He went to Kitsilano, and then he taught at Kitsilano for close to 35 years. And retired just 1 year or 2 years after I did. So he's been out and great individual. Yeah, the relationship that we had between Don and John and myself, it's pretty special. And I can't say enough about those two individuals.
For sure. For sure. And you play any other sports? And if so, which ones?
Yeah, I mean, as growing up, I pretty well played everything, but soccer was my big one.
Soccer.
Yeah, so I started at a young age, 6 years old, and then basically moved all the way to university. And I actually played both sports at college and university, which is kind of unique because they don't really allow athletes to do that now because they want you to stay in one sport. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm kind of multifaceted in that way, and played soccer, played basketball, and then the other one I did in the spring and the summer, which I'm still doing now, is I play a lot of baseball and a lot of softball. So those are the major sports. And then, you know, my partner and I, Sharon, we own a house down in Phoenix, Arizona, and we play pickleball, we golf, we swim, we hike, we bike. So we're pretty active in terms of our retirement life.
Yeah, it's good to do that. Just keeping active all the time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that's my last rapid fire question for you. We just have a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
This podcast episode is brought to you by Form Basketball Academy, located in Vancouver, BC. Form Basketball Academy offers multifaceted programs, including one-on-one private training and film study, with NCCP nationally certified coaches. To find out more information about this and other program or league opportunities, check them out at formbasketball.com. Form Basketball Academy. Become your best with us.
All right, welcome back, folks, to Been a Minute Season 2. We're joined today by, I call him the General, legendary coach, Coach Randy Coutts. Before we get into the second part of the segment here, the rapid fire questions, you know, I know that I've said this to you before, Couttsy, but you know, you gave me my start when I first moved to BC to do my master's after undergrad, you know, coaching with you at Kits there. And then when I came back to BC in 2016, you jumped at the opportunity to get me back in there. And, you know I've said this to you, but I want to publicly say it. I will be forever indebted to you. It's been an honor to have coached with you. And I say thank you for giving me the opportunity and inspire me to continue to coach on.
Yeah, Paul, first of all, thank you very much for those kind words. And I'd just like to come back your way and say I'd like to thank you for having the opportunity to coach at Kitsilano. It was great having you there. I think the opportunity to give younger coaches a chance to coach at any school, is a great opportunity. And I always encouraged any person that came through my door, or a phone call or an email or a text or what have you, I always responded to them and gave them an opportunity, gave them the time and the opportunity to help out the program, because your program is only as good as the people that are in it. And I can truly say, Paul, you're an inspiration, and your coaching ability and your dedication and your commitment and your enthusiasm and all of that was awesome, because it truly helps out myself. It truly helped on myself. It truly, more than anything, helped out the program. But more importantly, I think the kids and the students take away that great experience and that great opportunity to be coached by yourself.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. Means a lot. Coach Anand has some rapid fire questions for you, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. Once again, the topic for today is the General of Kits, the legend of Coach Randy Coutts. Coach Anand, take it away.
Hey, Coach Coot, how's it going?
Good, Anand. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you liking the podcast so far?
The podcast is good. I've listened to it. I listened to Howard Kelsey's podcast there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very good. You guys are doing a really good job. A really good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It means a lot coming from you.
Sounds good.
All right. So I'm gonna give you a couple rapid fire questions, very similar to Coach Ollie's. Let's start with what's your favorite food and why?
What's my favorite food and why? Well, it kind of changed over the years, but my favorite food at this point is I really like Mexican food.
Yeah.
Quesadilla, enchiladas, different salads. Being down in Phoenix, Arizona for the past 4 years, they've got a couple of really good restaurants that we've gone down to, and they've really it's the food down there is outstanding. So that's probably our go-to food down there. At least once a week would be having Mexican.
Well, that seems to be a common answer among our guests on these podcasts. Mexican food is the big one over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What's one thing that not too many people know about you? So what's like something that we can't look up about you? Obviously, don't say anything too private if you don't want to, but what's something that about Coach Coot that the world does not know?
Well, yeah, there's not really much to. I've done a lot of coaching in my past, but I think the big thing that kind of drives me and has always driven me and is that I played a lot of baseball and slow pitch softball. So probably a lot of people don't know that. The guys that I've been playing baseball with for the past 30 years, we grew up together. Went apart when we got kind of married, and then we all got back together and we started playing locally, called the Lower Mainland Baseball Association. If you look it up on the website,
Okay.
played for a team. Yeah, I played a team called the Burnaby Pirates, playing a 30-year-old and a 45-year-old league, and we've been doing that for the last it's been 25 years. So I do that on weekends, usually Saturday and Sundays. And then I play a lot of slow pitch. The retirement community that we have down in Phoenix, Arizona, it's called Sun City West. They have, it's unbelievable. They have this softball diamond that they put in probably $2 million in.
Wow.
And it's one of the best slow pitch softball fields in the whole of Phoenix, Arizona, and it's basically for all the guys in the retirement community. So there's 600 guys that play in this league, and we have over, I think it's close to 60 teams, and they're all tiered up, and they're all the ages of 50 to 90, and they're all playing slow pitch softball. And
That's
along
awesome.
with that is in the month of October and November, when I first go down to Arizona, I play baseball basically every day, either a single game or a doubleheader. So playing 9 or 18 innings in a day down in all the spring league training facilities down in Phoenix, Arizona. And I have 5 teams that I play on. So I usually play a 4 or 5 week circuit and basically play down there during that time. And the other beauty of this one is our home is located in Surprise, Arizona, and it's located right next to the Texas Ranger organization. And through contacts and through softball and baseball that I've made, we now shag fly balls for the Texas Rangers, basically in spring league training. So what happens is we go there in the morning from 10 till about 12:30. And the guys on our softball and baseball team will shag fly balls for the Texas Rangers. Basically do that for about 2.5 hours. And in return, we get free passes to the Texas Rangers
No way.
baseball game. So they finish like at 12 o'clock. They get into their uniform, and then all the other teams, like there's 22 teams that are down in Phoenix, Arizona during that time, and they come and they play at Surprise Stadium, and we get to watch them for basically. So I spend at least 2 days out of the 7. Basically being involved with the Texas Rangers baseball organization. So it's pretty, I mean, we do it, it's all volunteer, but it's, we're with our buddies, and we just have a really good time.
That sounds like a really good time. Yeah, it's definitely something that I bet you no one knew, and that sounds super cool.
Yeah.
So obviously for the people who don't know, we hear that you spend part of your living in Arizona. How do you find that compared to Vancouver? Do you miss it? Do you like it better over there?
Here's the deal. When I first went down there, I had I was hesitant in terms of staying down there for that amount of time.
Yeah.
But as soon as all these things that were going on, like I'm busy every day, right? So we basically go from 8 o'clock in the morning till 7, 8 o'clock at night, doing something physically active outside. And the beauty of Phoenix, Arizona, is that during the winter, October, November, December, January, February, it's sunny every morning. It gets a little cold in the morning, but gets up to anywhere from 17 to 21 degrees Celsius. And when you come back to Vancouver, during the winter time, it's really great. But I mean, that's just the way of life, right? It's gray, it's dark.
Typical Vancouver weather.
Yeah, it's typical West Coast weather, right? But you live there, you live it, you just don't know any different. So the difference is basically the weather and the activity that's going down there. Being retired, I don't have to work, right? So it's a beautiful thing. It's just I got the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like you're living life to the fullest right now, especially during these times.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, is that we had and people are gonna question it or judge it or whatever. You can do whatever you want, but we went down as soon as the pandemic was on. But we're staying in our bubble. We were doing your mask, doing your 6 feet, all that kind of stuff. But we said, what's the difference of doing that, being up here or being down there? And we said there's nothing. So we got on a plane, and where we went, and we went down there, and we did all the protocol down there. They're doing the same protocol down there as we're doing up here, but they're having a little bit more success because they got vaccinated. They got vaccinated early, so we were lucky enough to get vaccinated, our 2 shots early in February. So yeah, we're kind of blessed that way, or lucky to have that going on.
That sounds like a perfect gig going on right now.
Yeah.
Besides you traveling back and forth to Vancouver and Arizona, are you a big traveler? Have you traveled much? I know not lately, probably with COVID, but if so, what's been your best place to travel to?
Okay, well, travel's an interesting one. And Ollie talked about Don Stoller a little bit earlier on, but Don and I over at Kitsilano, our goal was to take at least 1 or 2 trips per year, traveling around the world. So, and this was with basketball teams or rugby teams or whatever team that was wanted to travel. We gave the opportunity for them to travel. So I've been to like San Diego 5 times. Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Florida, Hawaii, Kona, Maui. Been to China 3 times, Taipei 3 times, Australia, New Zealand, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, France, Italy, Serbia, Mexico, Cuba, Nova Scotia. Been to Saskatoon, Toronto, Hamilton, Washington State, Oregon, Montana, Japan. Those are the ones. Yeah, those are the ones. And the one that really kind of stands out of the whole thing was, which is really cool, was in the middle of winter. it was the first weekend in January. I always wanted to go. Like my goal was to get to as many basketball tournaments as I could, outside of British Columbia.
Yeah.
And I went to the Bedford Roads tournament. I don't know if you've ever heard of that tournament. It's in Saskatoon. It's in Saskatoon. And if you coach high school ever in your next journey, Ollie and Anand, you got to get to that tournament because it's one of the best organized tournaments in Canada, and I would compare it to the KSS tournament up in Kelowna. But it's in the basically the middle of winter, and they bring the whole city out to watch this tournament. And I'm not talking the home team; I'm talking every team that goes there. It's a sellout crowd of about, I think they get 1,200 to 1,500 fans
per game.
Every game.
Wow, that's like United States level right there.
Yeah, it's the beauty of it is that if you hear about these tournaments, there's a history to the tournaments, and it's the guys behind the tournament that put it on that make it happen, right? So it's just not a one shot in the arm wonder. There's a lot of planning and recognition that goes on, and if you take a look at the top tournaments in BC for high school boys, I would put KSS, Kitsilano or Kelowna Secondary School up in Kelowna. I would put up one of that tournament. I would put the Terry Fox tournament up there, and the St. Thomas More tournament has had a long history in tournaments, and not taking anything away from the smaller tournaments like I know St. John's. Jonathan did a wonderful job at St. John's, and he's still doing it. He's not during the pandemic, of course, but doing the tournaments there, he did a great job putting those tournaments on. And even Anand at Churchill, they put on their tournament on every year. Not taking anything away from that either. They do a great job on putting on the tournaments. But the high profile ones that I've gone to before are pretty good. Probably the biggest one of all time that I've ever been to was the one down in San Diego. It's called the Torrey Pines tournament, where the Torrey Pines golf course is basically played, where Tiger Woods grew up. But that tournament, we got a chance to play in the top tier one year in 1996. And we ended up beating Torrey Pines that first game in the tournament. And usually what they do is they usually have the, an easy team to play that year, but they didn't find it too easy when they played us.
Huh. Bring Canada to them.
Yep.
Another question. If you were stranded on a deserted island, what are the 3 essential things that you would hope you could bring with you? It can be anything you want. It could be as simple as a basketball, or it could be your family. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it would definitely be my family, that's for sure. That's number 1.
Big family man.
Yeah. Number 2 would be probably, food and water, of course. I'm sure you wouldn't want to be stranded on an island without that. And I guess the third thing is I really enjoy fishing, so I would probably bring some fishing gear.
Some fishing gear, might as well have something to do out there.
Exactly.
All right, exactly. I like those answers.
There you go.
Do you consider yourself a sweet tooth guy, or do you like savory foods? Like, do you like to enjoy your meal, or do you like to have quick little sweets?
Yeah, you know what? In the fridge we usually have some dark chocolate, so that's probably one thing. And one of the things with my partner and I, Sharon, we are very, very high on cashews and almonds. Those are probably, and they're not really sweet, but they're kind of like the mainstay, which I call.
A little snacking. Yeah. My family's big on dark chocolate. That's like the only chocolate we ever have around here. So even though we didn't really like it in the beginning, it's like the only thing that we eat if we're gonna have a sweet. So I could definitely relate to that.
There you go.
Yeah. Coach Coot, what's your all-time favorite basketball or coaching moment throughout your history? I know you've had a long, long career, but is there one moment that sticks out to you, just more, a little bit more than the rest?
Yeah, you know what? That's a real tough question.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause there's so many. So I'd like to answer it this way. I mean, the 4 BC championships that we won, those were very, very special. All 4 of them were very, very special.
Yeah.
Especially the first one because that was in General Motors Place, which is now, what's it called now? Rogers Center, or anyways, yeah, down at and it was only 2 years that they had it at GM Place, and the first championship was pretty cool because it was the first time in 35 years that a Vancouver school had won the championship.
Yeah.
So that was pretty special for Vancouver. And the second thing was that we were playing in front of 15,000 people. So it wasn't a full stadium, but I think to this day, I think it's got to be close to close amount of people that played a BC high school boys championship in front of. So that was pretty special. The other couple that just come to mind was a Lower Mainland championship in 2000, I think 2006, 2007 against St. George's. And I still have that shot in the back of my mind. We were down 1 with 2 seconds left to go, and we called a timeout, and basically had 3 options on the inbound. It was inbounded at half court, and we knew they were going to bite on the first and second option, and we wouldn't get a good shot off. But we had a good perimeter shooter for our third option, and we knew that he was going to be wide open. So the first look was not open. The second look wasn't open, but the third look was. And he hosted it from about 23 feet, and he banked it in to beat St. George's going to the provincial tournament. So that was at our house. Yeah, that was on that's on YouTube too. If you look it up, it was pretty special, and there was a big controversy after the game because they felt that there was offensive goaltending in regards to the shot. And when you break it, we had a whole bunch of different videos on it. When you break it down frame to frame, it was very tough to call. Anyways, it was a tough call.
It was after the fact call, though. It was after the game.
Well, yeah, it's after the game. The shot went in. They counted the basket, and there was it was pandemonium in the gym, and the referees basically got out of there as quick as they could, right? So
was it a home game?
That was cut. What's that?
Was it a home game or?
It was a home game. Well, we hosted the Lower Mainlands at our school.
Of course, yeah. So that must have been crazy.
Yeah. So at that time, when the Lower Mainland tournament was going on, every second year you put in a host bid to host the tournament. So we had the opportunity to host it for 2 years in a row. So yeah, it was pretty special. So those are the kind of the moments that stick out in my mind.
All right, that's pretty. Those are crazy. Coach, do you have a favorite NBA team?
Do I ever see an NBA team? Yes. Yeah. Favorite NBA team would be Golden State.
Golden State. So you're a big Curry fan? Oh, Coach, all over here.
That's my favorite team too.
Big Curry fan. Yeah. There's a little bit of story about that one too. Is that I think Steph Curry revolutionized the 3-point shot.
Of course, yeah.
He is an unbelievable shooter. But the reason why he's an unbelievable shooter is because, number one, he's a hard worker. And number two, he has a passion for the game. And he's put so many hours into the gym honing his game. And it's not the fact that he shoots, 6, 7 hours of games. He does efficient workouts, right? He goes into the gym and he'll do an efficient workout for 45 minutes or an hour, but he'll get more into that 45 minutes an hour than a guy shooting in the gym for 6 or 7 hours or what have you. So it's really about the efficiency. Yeah, it's really about the efficiency and the effectiveness of your workouts. And the other little story behind that is that back in 2004, 2005, we had a player by the name of Miko Cochran. And I don't know if you've ever heard of that name. Not too many people know about him. He was a player at Kitsilano. He was 5'1" in grade 8, probably 5'6" in grade 10. Graduated in grade 12. He was probably 5'9", probably 135 pounds soaking wet. But he just loved the game. He put time and effort into the game. His ball handling skills, his shooting skills, his passion for the game was unbelievable. And we went to the BC tournament. I think we finished 5th that year. We lost to a team in the first game from Abbotsford. They had a guy named Jacob Dirksen that just basically, I think he scored 58 against us. But anyways, getting back to Nico, he went on to have a very successful basketball career after high school. He went to a place called Champlain in Quebec, and it's called a CEGEP, and it's called a junior college. And the CEGEP at that time was basically, it didn't count against your college or university eligibility. So Nico went to Champlain for 3 years, and then during those 3 years that he was at Champlain, he grew probably 4 or 5 inches, probably put on 35, 40 pounds of muscle. He ended up being about, God bless, no doubt. But he had a passion, and he was going after it. And this is why I say that there's a lot of kids out there that are in the same boat when they graduate, but if they have a plan, they can get it done. So he ended up going to Champlain for 3 years, and then playing there, and just phenomenal. I was watching his games online, and he was just unbelievable. So he decided he wanted to go on and play NCAA. So he went down and he played at Davidson, and that's why I brought up the name of Steph Curry. Is that in his freshman year, Steph was in his sophomore year at Davidson. Now Nico didn't get a lot of playing time there, but he sure learned a lot from Steph Curry when he was down there, and that's when Steph made the run with Davidson and in the NCAA tournament, and they were ranked number 13 or 14 going in, and they beat like a number 1 or 2 ranked team in the first round of the tournament, and that's where Steph broke out, is right there. And we had an opportunity for a guy like Miko Cochran to go on and play 4 years at Davidson and play NCAA Division I. And I guarantee you, not too many people have heard of him.
Yeah, that's crazy that you're one of your athletes, your students actually got to play with Steph Curry. I don't think a lot of people would ever know about that, but that's something something very special. Speaking of NCAA, do you have a favorite team on the NCAA? Is it Davidson?
Yeah, I mean, I follow Davidson. Like I say, I'm a huge basketball fan. I have a streaming network on TV, so I watch a lot of games, a lot of college games.
Yeah.
But to be quite honest, I'm kind of old school, and I really followed UCLA quite a bit with their high post offense called shuffle offense.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, so the John Wooden teams of the late 60s and early 70s, guys like Bill Walton playing on that team. But the teams that I follow right now very closely are Arizona State University with Coach Bobby Hurley, who played at Duke, and I follow very closely because they're only about 20 minutes from where I live in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
It's called Grand Canyon University, and they're an up-and-coming university. They're a mid-major that are up-and-coming.
Yeah.
And I would put that university right now up against the likes of Duke in terms of their spectators and their following. They just built a brand new arena of about 9,000 people, and they pack that gym for every home game. And I probably go to six to 8 home games during my schedule down to Grand Canyon University. And I'm hoping to see this year is I don't know if you guys have been watching is Fardos out of Kitsilano Secondary School. You guys know that name?
Yeah, the 7-footer.
Yeah,
the
Fardos
7-footer. Yeah, Fardos Almach, right? And I've been watching him I've been watching him very closely. And tell me this guy has taken his level to the next game, or his game to the next level. Is like unbelievable. And he literally, I would say he's got a good shot. I don't know if he's planning to enter the draft this year, but I say by the time next year rolls around, he should have a good shot at making the top 2 rounds. In my opinion.
Yeah, no, Fardos, I remember coached against him when we kept the legacy going, Coutts, with playing at UBC. We'd play, whatever random team, whether it was Oak Bay but that particular year it was Steveston we played, and that was with, who do we have on that team? It was George Dokhmanovich, Luka Lizdek, and so on and so forth. And they played against Fardos, and I think he dropped 40 on us. He's a load, and watching his career from where he started here in Vancouver, Richmond, and then now he's right now still in the draft, but he hasn't gotten rid of his eligibility yet, so he has the potential to maybe go back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the beauty of him is that I've been following him pretty closely, just on the web and stuff, and that he transferred over from Mercer after his first year there. Their coaching changed, and it was probably the best thing that I think that ever happened to him, because he ended up going to Utah Valley, and there's a coach down there by the name of Coach Madden, who played in the NBA, and he was a 6'10" center, and the coaching that he's getting from him is unbelievable, because his game, his inside game, his outside game, mid-range game is unbelievable. And I mean, last year, if you take a look at the stats in the NCAA, he was the #1 rebounder in the nation. Like that is unheard of. We're talking that's in the era of Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Walton, Ralph Sampson. You're talking numbers like that, and those are unbelievable numbers. And the beauty with Fardas was that if you watch him, like, he is a complete player. You watch him on the bench when he's not playing, like, he plays probably 32, 33 minutes a game. But one of the things that I do as a coach is I watch the actions of players on the bench when they're not on the floor. Unbelievable support for his team when he's not playing. And that's built through culture. That's built through coaching. And that's built through character. And those are qualities that coaches going to the next level will automatically look at. They'll look at you on the bench, and they'll look at your actions on the floor. And I would probably say looking on the bench at your actions have a huge play in terms of what type of character you are.
Yeah, for sure. I know that's Coach, and I had one last question for you before we go to commercial break. Coach Anand.
Coach Coutts. We have one more question. What is your all-time favorite basketball movie?
I can't say that I have one. I got 3. I'll just give you them.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, you hear it? Okay. And all 3 of them I would put like like right up there would be the actor Nick Nolte in Blue Chips was awesome. He did a great job. The other one was White Man Can't Jump with Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
And the third one was Carter with Samuel Jackson. That was
Obviously
those
Carter,
three
yeah.
are
Coach Carter.
yeah Carter, and that's
That was one of my favorites
those
growing
three
up, too.
those three movies were outstanding.
Well, yeah. Thank you very so Coach, that's all the rapid fire questions I have for you today. I think we're gonna go into a quick commercial break. Bruce, if you'll set that up. But thank you for answering my questions. We really appreciate it. We do have a couple more questions after that, but yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, folks.
Sounds good.
We are joined today by Coach Randy Coutts, the man, the myth, the legend. Before we go to commercial break, I've traveled with Coutts before. We've gone to Maple Ridge and with Ken Dockendorf. Was it a summer league coach? The summer stuff at Maple Ridge with this hot gym.
Yeah. You know that those are some of my great experiences.
Yeah.
During the time at Kitsilano, we did that basically every summer. We either took a varsity team or a JV team out to those team camps, and they were outstanding.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And then the other fond memory I have traveling with you is going to San Diego and I can't remember what the high school that was that we played there, and that I don't even remember the big black guy that was out in front of the barbecue making those ribs and chicken and brisket and it was fantastic. Probably the best food out of my life.
There's no doubt about it. Those tournaments that I've gone to, second to none, and all good coaches that you get in contact and you set your network up, and they're good guys, and we're just trying to get the best experiences on for the kids. Yep. And give them because I tell you, when you go through high school, I don't think you remember your grade 12 algebra class. You remember those experiences that you've had, whether it be in drama or playing basketball or doing a musical or what have you. You're going to remember those experiences. Those are the ones that kind of stick out in your mind, and those are the ones that stuck out in my mind when I was playing.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Well, we'll have you back just to finish out the segment of the show. But right now we have to take a commercial break. So give us 40 seconds and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
This commercial break is brought to you by Sports Unlimited, located in Surrey, BC. Sports Unlimited is your home for all things team and corporate apparel. They can be reached at 604-597-3255 or online at www.sportsu.ca. Sports U, the place to be. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're continuing on with Coach Coutts. We got to know him a bit in the first part of the show there with some rapid fire questions, some amazing stories. I don't know about everyone else, but I've just been sitting back and enjoying and just listening to the stories and his journey. We want to get into a bit of a nitty gritty and dive deeper into coaching. And earlier you mentioned about culture and what coaches look for. I know personally for me as a university coach, to echo what you said, and to the grassroots players listening to this, is that it's not just always about what happens on the court. So for me personally, in the first quarter, I look at the first time that a player gets subbed out and what kind of body language that you convey towards your coach. Are you going, oh, why you taking me out, and giving the coach the third degree in attitude, or are you receptive and sitting there being a cheerleader cheering on your team? Those are important things. So I know that Coach Anand is going to lead with this next segment here. So Coach Anand, take it away.
All right, Coach. So as a high school coach, what types of skill sets or players did you look for if you were assembling a team? So what were the main key ingredients if you're going to make your ideal team?
Yeah, I think there's 5 main ones that I want to point out. I think are detriment to any team. As the first one is accountability. Being accountable at all times, meaning, for example, just getting to all the practices, all the games. If you can't make a practice, make a game. You got to open up the communication lines, etc. The determination of players, I think, is very, very important. If their hearts are into it. The hustle of players, that means on offense and on defense, always hustling all the time. Sportsmanship, trying not to show up your opponent, basically playing on an even keel all the time. And I find that players, and going through high school, I'll give you a prime example and it just typifies it. I don't know if you ever knew the name of Tommy Nixon, but he was a player at Kitsilano Secondary School for 5 years, and then went on to UBC for 5 years. Is now playing professionally over in Hong Kong. But he was the ultimate calmest player I've ever seen play basketball. But he played it beautifully, and again, he was humble. He showed great respect to his opponents. He showed great respect to his coaches. He showed great respect to his fellow players. And he was just a caring individual. And I think that quality there is very important. And that gets to my last one is the character of the individual. Always showing to be positive with his teammates, positive with his teachers, positive with his coaches, positive in the whole school environment. And I think if you have those qualities, you can create a pretty good team. And those are basically the qualities I look for when selecting players or looking at players. And everything you do or every team that you have, you try to have teaching moments, and those are really good things that'll be very good for you as a coach later in life, and same as the player later in life.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Coach Ollie, you have the next question?
Yeah, as a follow-up, do you look for the same types of things in provincial player, or are there more stuff that you look for?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I think the grassroots stuff is really what you want to look for in a provincial player. You really don't want to take any, what I like to call cancers on teams, because it can eat away at individuals on a team, and it can eat away at team chemistry. Right. So, those 5 things I talked about: accountability, determination, hustle, sportsmanship, and character. I think those are all sets, whether it's in high school, whether it's in elementary school, or whether it's even, you're playing on the provincial team, or you're playing on your farm basketball team. You want to make it a great experience, not only for, 1 or 2 individuals. You want to make it a great experience for everybody that's there. So I think, just echoing the 5 skill sets that I think are important, I think they would go a long way with any of the teams that you play on.
For sure. Yeah. Coach Anand?
Yeah, so Coach Coot, what does it mean to have taught and coached at Kits for nearly 30 years? That's a big deal right there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, the thing is that you have to have a passion for anything you do.
Of course.
I definitely had a passion for basketball. I've had a passion for basketball. I've actually had a passion for sports all my life, but basketball has been a very, very, it's been very good to me. And, I just tried to pay back, I guess, is the bottom line. So, I just hopefully have a payback opportunity for all the coaches that came into my life. And I want to give those experiences, or wish I could give those experiences to the players that were in high school, college, or university.
Well, I'm pretty sure every single one of your players that you've ever coached, thanks you very much for your knowledge and everything that you gave out for them.
Well, for sure, for sure.
Coach Ollie, you got the next one?
Yeah, this is our last question, but Coach, to those in our audience, whether it be from the grassroots level or even their parents, what would you say to them in relation to basketball and achieving their goals?
What I would say to most parents, and as the years have gone on, I know it becomes more and more of a relevant issue, is that to all parents is let the coach coach. Playing time is probably the biggest thing with most parents. They come to the game, they see 12 players on the team. 5 to 7 guys are getting the most time. They try to roll the bench, getting into number 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, they're getting limited time, and then number 11 and 12. You know, we'll probably get, probably 3 or 4 minutes a game. It's not getting that much time. If you're playing on a recreational team where you're playing 5 on, 5 off, and everyone's getting equal time, it's not a problem. But when you get in a competitive environment and you're rolling your bench and you're getting players into the game, every player is going to get different amounts of playing time. So I think as a coaching philosophy, you should communicate that with the parents and let them know what the deal is. And my way of thinking is that the guys that come to practice and they work hard, they're going to be playing the minutes. And I think that really has to be said about in all the teams that I've coached, and that needs to be brought into play. So I think that's what I would say to parents.
For sure, and to the players out there, you work hard in practice. It's not like unseen. The coaches will see and will give you the minutes if you truly deserve them.
I totally agree with you, Ollie. And I've had many players like that come through the program that you wouldn't think would have a sniff at getting on the floor. And you know what? It's those individuals that really, really bond your team together. Those are the guys that are diving after loose balls. Those are the guys that are going after every rebound. Those are the guys that are taking charges in the key. Those are the guys that are doing the little things on the floor that disrupt the other team and makes your team that much better. They don't have to be the best scorer, but they contribute in so many different ways.
Hustle plays.
Totally agree with that.
You bet. You bet.
Well, that's it with the questions. Thank you so much, Coach Coutts, for coming on to our show. We really appreciate you having us ask you these questions and teaching us with your experiences and coaching tips such as that. Producer Pete, any words?
Coutts, on behalf of myself and my staff and Foreign Basketball Academy and the show hosts, Coach Ollie said, we thank you for taking this time to, just sit with us and chit chat and talk all things hoops. I've known you, since I was in grad school, so we're going now back 13, 14 years. But even when I moved away from Vancouver after finishing my master's and going on to medical school, I always kept tabs with you and the program. And like I said before, thank you for the opportunity, and again, thanks for sharing your story. To those that are listening to this, take heed of what Coach said. This man has been successful up and down in his coaching career. So, there's no magic wand. And if you're truly serious about getting to the next level, and even if you don't play at the next level, the things that basketball teaches you is amazing. So, Coutts, thank you. We appreciate it. And we'll definitely have you drop by the academy one of these days.
Well, yeah, for sure, Paul. I'd just like to thank you for having this avenue to share my experiences with all the younger basketball coaches that I know. Coach Nand and Coach Ollie have come through 2 great programs at their high school, and you're in a great program right now with Form. Whether you're playing or you're coaching at Form, you have a huge responsibility in front of you, because you're going to be influencing your student athletes over the next few years. So I think that is a wonderful opportunity for you, Paul, and you, Anand, and you, Ollie, to experience that. And not too many people get to do that type of work. So live every moment, teach every moment you can, and give your players the best experience possible.
Thank you.
Much
No doubt, for
appreciated.
sure. Much appreciated. All right, Coutts, we'll be in touch, and we thank you. And we're off to a commercial break, guys. We'll be right back.
This podcast episode is brought to you by Form Basketball Academy, located in Vancouver, BC. Form Basketball Academy offers multifaceted programs, including one-on-one private training and film study, with NCCP nationally certified coaches. To find out more information about this and other program or league opportunities, check them out at formbasketball.com. Form Basketball Academy. Become your best with us.
All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Been a Minute Season 2. Today's topic was the General of Kits, the legend of Coach Randy Coutts. We just said goodbye to Coutts, and I enjoyed it. I'm just, being around him, having gone to a pub, traveled, everything that, a special bond to have with Coutts. Coach Ollie, Coach Anand, what were your thoughts? What did you take away?
Well, my thoughts, Coach Paul. It was just crazy hearing from a guy who has so much experience coaching. He's traveled the world coaching and playing basketball, and he's been so involved with high school basketball that, I don't know, it was just really interesting to hear his story, his lifestyle.
No doubt. And you guys, we talked before when we plan these guests and we connect with them, and it's crazy to think that I was just a young buck 19 years ago getting involved with coaching, and the connections that have been built over 19 years, and all these coaches, whether it's Coach Coutts, or whether it's Coach Kinman and whoever else we have coming on the show, they're doing us a favor. They're doing me a favor, essentially. They're taking time out of their day to not only meet with us and talk hoops and talk life with us, but also helping to inspire the next generation. And so to Coutts, to Kinman, and to all the other guests that we have in season 2, we thank you, and we're truly appreciative of it. Gents, as we flip over to possession 24, before we get out of here, before we get there, for those that are listening, hit us up on our socials. You can find us on Instagram at f.o.r.m._basketball. Find us on Twitter at Form Basketball. It's FORM Basketball. Our website is www.formbasketball.com. Now, Coach Anand, you're up first in the possession 24. Another of our defensive DNAs as an academy is communication. Can you explain to our listeners why this is important, especially on the defensive end?
So, when I was playing basketball, if I'm guarding someone and I'm guarding the guy who has the ball, and someone on the opposing team sets me a screen, and I don't have my own teammates telling me that there's a screen behind me, I'm getting my shit roughed. Sorry about that, my language, coach, but and I'm gonna get upset, and I need my teammates to help me be aware of what I cannot see because I'm focused on guarding the ball. Communication is super important on defense. I strongly believe that if you're quiet on the court and do not talk with your teammates, that is going to be a huge downfall for your games. And you are probably going to have your teammates be upset with you if you guys do not pull off the dub. So, yeah, communication is very important on the court and off the court, too. The bench can get involved with the shot clock. When you're having the ball and the shot clock's running down, it's very important that your people who are off on the bench count down the shot clock, so then you know to get the ball out on time.
Yeah, and I mean, even to add to that is a lot of players, and even at the university level as a coach, our guys communicate. You have to communicate, but at any level that you're playing at, guys, when your coach tells you to communicate, it's not just because we feel like telling you. It's going to help you, because one of the things that's I say, and you guys have heard me say this, is that if you communicate on the defensive end, you communicate to where you end up needing to be. So if you get beat on the drive and you yell help, that means your teammate that's rotating or needs to rotate into help, right? If you communicate that you have ball, that lets your teammates know that you have the ball. If you communicate shot, that means that the shot is up. That means everyone needs to turn around and box out. So if you communicate, guys and gals, you end up communicating yourself into position. So once again, I'll say that one more time. If you communicate, you end up communicating yourself into position. And that's just fact. Coach Ollie, on the flip side, another of our offensive DNAs is to take open shots and be shot ready. Why is this important? And, break it down for us with our audience.
Yeah, it's kind of like related to the 0.5 advantage. Taking open shots is you have to hit those. Like, you can't miss those open shots. They're given to you, right? So being shot ready means you're ready for your shot. If when the ball's passed to you, before the ball's passed to you, you're getting ready in your stance, and when you catch the ball, you can just release. And that's if you're not shot ready, then you waste time after you get the ball. You catch the ball, you step into your shot or whatever. You might get called for a travel. You always want to be shot ready. You always have the 0.5 advantage to take the open shot before the defense comes.
Yeah, for sure. And, to add to your point as well, too, is that, you're not going to hit 100% of your shots. That's just a fact, right?
Yeah.
But for the fact that you took the shot, the defense has to honor and respect you. But if you're not shot ready, if you don't take the shot when you're supposed to take it, the defense now can load up on your teammates or your other teammates who they feel are more of a threat. So taking open shots also means being a threat. All 5 boys or girls on the court, ready to shoot, ready to contribute in some sort of way. And like Coach said, whether it's a 0.5 advantage where you take the shot or you re-attack and then, drive and kick, whatever it is, shoot. Because the only way that the ball is going to go on the hoop is if you put it in the hoop. Correct?
For sure.
Well, gents, that wraps up another show for us here. Once again, hit us up on our socials, Instagram, f.o.r.m._basketball. Our Twitter's at @formbasketball. And our website is www.formbasketball.com. Gents, Coach Anand, send us home.
All right, ladies and gents, thank you very much for tuning in to our episode today. Stay tuned for the next episode. We got bigger and better things every week. Peace.
Peace.